here in the infield of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. My name is Tony Laporta, and I am your host of Road to Indy TV. We are a TV show that's on YouTube. We are here this weekend with the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple, supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. These guys are going to say that 3 times faster in a minute. The Mazda Road to Indy is a one-of-a-kind driver ladder system that promotes young racers from the ranks of go-karts and spits them out in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Last year, 33 drivers started the 100th Indianapolis 500. Of those 33, 23 of those drivers graduated from the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. In other words, you are looking at the future of the Verizon IndyCar Series. The series is made up of 3 championships. USF 2000 is the first step, Pro Mazda is the second step, and the Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires is the third and final step. Here with us today, drivers from World Speed Motorsports competing in the second rung on the Mazda Road to Indy, Pro Mazda. We have drivers and teammates Philippe Dennis and the one and only Stingray Robb. We'll start with Philippe. Philippe, how are you? I think you need to turn the mic on. Rookie mistake.
Does it work now?
There it works. Round of applause for Philippe learning how to turn on the mic, ladies and gentlemen. We're always teaching our young drivers here. Philippe, we'll ask you again, how are you?
I'm pretty good. We had a good race today. Finished 6th, finished 5th yesterday. We're starting to get closer, but I've been fighting sickness all week, so I wasn't at my maximum, so I think Road America's going to be a lot better.
You've been fighting sickness all week. What have you been sick with?
I actually forgot what it's called.
That's when you know it's serious. That's when you know it's bad, when he's sick, but he can't remember what it's called. But you're okay now?
Actually, it's called laryngitis. I just remembered.
Laryngitis, the thing that affects how you speak.
Yes.
Is that why you forgot to turn on the mic?
Possibly.
Possibly. Philippe Dennis. Let's go to Stingray Robb right now. We'll hand that over. Stingray, it's a question you probably don't get asked very often, so I'm going to ask it here because I know no one comes up to you and bugs you about this. Is your name really Stingray?
Yes, Tony, it is.
And your last name is in fact Robb?
It is actually Robb.
So let me get this straight. Your last name is really a first name, and your first name is really a car.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Why do your parents hate you?
Well, the story behind it is my parents were big Corvette fans. So they named me after the Stingray Corvette. And then my dad's side of the family is from Stirlingshire, Scotland, and that shortens to Sting. And so Sting, and then Ray was the name of my grandpa. And so we just came up and got the whole big name Stingray.
The whole big name Stingray. I'm going to trade you mics because this one sounds a little bit louder. How's that? Try to talk. Are we good? That's much better.
Okay.
All right, so your name really is Stingray Robb, which is, of course, the Chevrolet Stingray.
Yes, it is.
But you're racing Mazdas this weekend.
I am. I know it's kind of going away from my namesake, but the Mazdas are pretty amazing.
The Mazdas are pretty amazing, and they're doing a lot for you in your career, don't you think?
Absolutely. This series is phenomenal for driver development. I couldn't ask for a better facility to race at with all the history here. And, you know, the series is amazing. The Mazda Road to Indy's done a great job developing a program where us young drivers can come up all the way up to Indy.
Now I want to go to Philippe again here really quick. Philippe, we were kind of debating the flag on your belt, stating where you're from. You were born in these great United States, but that's the Hungarian flag. You have Hungarian citizenship coming from the country of Hungary. Right now, are you hungry?
Actually, yes, I am. We just got lunch, and I came here, and I'm really hungry, so I would like to have some food.
You'd like to have some food. There are 1,000 Hungary jokes that I could make right now that none of you will find funny. But I promise I'll do it.
I've actually heard them all, so.
That's pretty good. Well, I'll have to go over them with you later and see if any of mine are better than what you've heard so far.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, we'll just sit down and have lunch and I'll eat, you can listen. Now to Sting right here. Speaking of being hungry, you are from the land of potatoes, a little town called Idaho. What's your favorite potato dish?
I really like mashed potatoes.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Who here likes a good plate of mashed potatoes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't be afraid to admit it, folks. When we go to Wisconsin, you throw some cheese on that. You bring some Stingray mashed potatoes. Delicious. We would love to take any questions from the crowd if anybody has any. Like, how does he prepare his mashed potatoes? What does he do if his car hits the wall at 130 miles an hour? Any of those questions. Also for Philippe, maybe tips for how he got over laryngitis. If anybody wants to hear these guys sing, all you have to do is suggest a song. They can sing or dance.
You don't want to listen to us sing. I don't think you might want to listen to Tony sing.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to hear me sing. That girl's wearing a University of Oregon hat. I was just in Portland a few days ago.
Indeed.
So good for you. It's a little south of Portland, but we just make observations here. So if anybody has any questions or would like to get to know these drivers a little bit better, these drivers are wearing authentic Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires hats. They will throw you the hat off their heads, but all you have to do is ask a question. Yes, sir, with the seatbelts on your back.
How did you originally get into racing?
That's a great question. How, Stingray, we'll go to Philippe. Throw him the hat. Throw him that. Yes. Good question, sir. How did you originally get your start in racing?
Well, when I was 4 years old, I saw a Nitro Circus video. And it was Travis Pastrana doing a backflip in a go-kart into a foam pit. And so I said, that's what I want to do. So for my 5th birthday, my parents bought me a go-kart, and that's kind of the beginning of my story.
He saw Travis Pastrana do something, and he wanted to do that for the rest of his life. And now here we are, what, some 15 years later. How old are you? 10 years later. Math's hard for me. Philippe, how did you get your start in racing? This young man wants to know.
Actually, I grew up at Laguna Seca and at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. I'm sorry.
Darn right.
And I went there almost every race weekend that they had ever since I was at least 5 years old. And I was also watching Formula 1 at the time, and they always talked about go-karts and how all the drivers started in go-karts. And I said, hey Dad, I'd like to start driving go-karts. When I was around 11 years old, I went to a racing school. And ever since then, I bought my own go-kart and started racing and just went up through the ladder.
Went up through the ladder. Is that a good answer?
Yeah.
Great question, my man. Cool seatbelt. Yes, ma'am, with the I Heart Ryan shirt.
So do you want to get into IndyCar, or do you want to get into a different series?
That's a good question. It is the Mazda Road to Indy. Do you want to end up in IndyCar, or do you want to go to some other dumb series?
Obviously, I want to be an IndyCar because everything else is dumb, right?
Exactly.
So, I just want to go up the ladder straight to IndyCar, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now, as we get ready for Stingray's answer, I'd like to, and throw over your hat. That's a great answer. She gets a hat. Congratulations. It's hard to hold a mic. Right in the face, Philippe. That's awful.
I'm terrible.
You just lost a fan right there. You gained one for like 30 seconds when you hit her in the face with a hat. Before Stingray answers, something to bring up, that's a great question. The Mazda Road to Indy, the way it works, if you win the championship, you are given a scholarship check by Mazda to race in the next level. So USF 2000 is the first category. The driver that wins that championship gets a check to go race Pro Mazda, the level these guys are in. Should either of these drivers win the Pro Mazda championship, Mazda writes a nice little check. They get money to go race in Indy Lights next year, and the champion in the Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires is guaranteed 3 races in the Verizon IndyCar Series, one of those races being an attempt to qualify for the Indy 500 each and every year, and that's what Mazda is doing to help young drivers get to the Indy 500. Stingray, I think I forgot the question. Do you remember it?
I don't remember the question.
What was the question?
Do you want to go?
Oh, where do you want to end up?
yes,
IndyCar, some other dumb series, Pinewood Derby. Where do you see yourself ending up?
Well, obviously IndyCar. It's the most American form of car racing that there is, and I'm not sure it can get any better than that. So.
And he's awful at Pinewood Derby. He literally
Yes.
just tried to glue 2 wheels to a block,
Yeah.
and it crashed. It literally crashed and burned. I've never seen a Pinewood Derby car crash and burn, but Stingrays did. That's a phenomenal question. We don't have any more hats, but we'd love a few more questions. Yes, sir.
What about sponsorship?
That's a great question, Stingray. How difficult is it to go racing and work on getting sponsors, and how important are sponsors to what you guys do?
Well, obviously with this form of racing, it costs a lot of money. And so in order to race, we have to have sponsors. And so when we're not at the track, we're spending our time hitting the pavement, trying to go get people to fund us for our next race. And it comes with the business, and it's not so much a sponsorship. It's a relationship with whoever is making the sponsor. And so you're putting on a show here at these events. And so as you can see, Mazda and everyone else is putting on a show for the rest of the sponsors that are coming to help.
What a great answer. You're not just a business, it's a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. That's beautiful. Let's get a different question for Philippe. Does anybody have any other questions here for our drivers? Philippe Dennis, he's got the Hungarian flag on his belt, but he's really from the United States. Does anybody have any questions for these young drivers. Great question, sir, by the way. Sponsors are very important. Thank you. If you'd like to donate, watch them sing or dance or anything to help them get down the road and racing. Yeah, they'll do a jig. They'll tell you a joke. They'll do a flip for $5. Just stick around. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Red shirt, BMW.
Where do you guys start the series?
So what do you do during the off season to stay prepared for racing during the year? What do you do, Philippe?
Actually, yes, I have a go-kart at home, and I go to the gym every day to stay fit for the racing season, and on the weekends, sometimes I go out to the local kart track and just pound out the laps. It's not a shifter kart, it's a 125cc single speed.
Rotax or Iami?
It's a Iami X30.
Okay.
Because Rotax is dead
Yeah,
now.
so a single, oh my God, okay, we're not going to get into that. Yeah, the Iami single speed 125cc kart engine. Great question, sir. Good for you. Any more questions for our young drivers up here in the Pro Mazda Championship? What grade are you in, Philippe?
I'm actually a senior, and I'm pretty close to graduating, hopefully.
Pretty close? I was pretty close once and it didn't work out.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Now I do this. Stingray, what grade are you in?
I'm actually a freshman this year.
A freshman in college, of course?
Freshman in high school.
Oh, freshmen are the worst!
I know. I'm neat.
Freshmen are the worst. They are so annoying. I don't like his teammates like, I didn't know I was racing with a freshman. I'm out of here. Great question. Although I feel like you should have known that about Stingray.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into why. There may be a family relationship there, a super fan perhaps.
Yeah, maybe a grandma thing.
Maybe a grandma or something, whatever. Any more questions for Stingray, Robb, and Philippe Dennis, folks? Really been fun getting to know these guys. We really encourage you to stop after these guys get off stage. Snap a photo with them. Talk with them, chat with them, because again, these guys are 2 steps away from racing in the Verizon IndyCar Series. And again, last year, 33 drivers started the Indy 500. 23 of those drivers were graduates of the Mazda Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. So if anybody has any more questions, we'd love to take them. But if not, these guys will be here to perform a song or a dance once we get off stage. And once again, from World Speed Motorsports, Stingray, Robb, and Philippe Dennis. Round of applause for our drivers here today, folks.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks a bunch, guys. Good luck. And we will see you in Road America in just a few weeks. Good job, guys. Thanks a bunch. They're available for photos and autographs at $10 a pop.